How you going, guys? I just thought I'd give you a bit of a, I suppose, just show you what I'm doing for sanding here on these doors, these back doors here especially. Now I flicked a little bit of guide coat on this just when I'm blocking back. Now I was using this. This is a reasonably long sanding block, but it's not terribly long. And when I was sanding across here, like you sort of end up with being, or still ending up being a little bit low in here. I just wasn't 100% happy. So what I did is I made this years and years and years ago for doing sort of longer, flatter panels, and it's just about perfect for doing this, for getting that initial shape right and all those sorts of things. Because it's nice and long, you can just basically rub it across the panel, and it's going to sit flat at each end. You just keep rubbing back to forwards, and this is sort of the end result. So obviously I'm touching steel here, and the same sort of here near the end and here. So I've got to sort of stop. So there's not enough filler in here and here, and like it gives you a real good guide. Instead of sanding it back and you think it's flat, well, it's not actually flat. It's low, and you're sanding it low. And the same across the door. I did the same thing. Now you can see all the pieces where it's still sort of low, look, because it's just touching this edge. And you're sanding across with this. The same across this back edge. And there's obviously a few high spots, because where that door was pushed in, it's it's rippled it. And I pushed when I pushed it out, would have flattened it out a lot better. But it's obviously still, it's low in a lot of places, so it needs quite a bit more filler on it. I've done the same one here. Again, I was using that shorter block, and now I can really sort of see where it needs another skim of filler through most of it. That longer block, if you can use a longer block or even make one. This is a pretty flat piece of wood that I ripped down years ago, and I made a long block, and I put a spine down the back of it, so it keeps it reasonably flat. I'm about to use it on here. Now it's not quite long enough for this, but it shouldn't be far away. It'll give me a pretty good, because this is the passenger's door where it's had that bit of a knock on the bottom, and it's got a crease in it. So I want to get that nice and flat too. So I'll run that across it here, and I'll pause this, and I'll give you a shot again when I've ripped most of this off. Right, back again. I've rubbed this back quickly, so you can see here, I'm steel along this edge here, in places, steel up here, and it's just touching across this back. So really, like if I'd sanded that with that shorter block, I probably would have sanded quite a lot more of this out, but it would have been low in a lot of places. So you can see, like, all this here needs filler. Needs a bit more filler on it, because it was quite a little sharp little sort of graze through here. Like, it wasn't deep, but it's quite surprising, the damage it does and how much it pulls a panel in. So really I need to mix quite a bit more filler and put in there. Again, the same, a little bit in here. It's not as bad, but that's basically the initial coat on there. This is sort of I suppose a second one. And this is sort of, I suppose it's almost a sort of second one, but needs a bit more too. Like, that's why I bought that line block out, because I wasn't happy with what was happening. And the same, a bit more filler in here. And this won't be far away, it'll just be a skim through here, a bit more of a skim. And the same, just in these lower spots where that guide coat's still showing. I could possibly come along here and give this a tap with a hammer, just to knock it down a touch. Same with this, the touch. And you might be able to get a little bit more off the door down through there, but you're high here and high here, so you're almost sort of defeating the purpose a little bit. But that would give you a little bit extra, if you know what I mean. So we're not far away. The shape's good. It feels nice, and as nice and smooth as it can feel with 60 grit. But the shape feels good. Like, it doesn't feel like that. nice and fluid, you know, nice smooth curve, except for where it's still low. So we're getting there. I haven't sanded anything else back yet. I was just sort of concentrating on these, just using that line block just to get shapes right, and then I can come back to these shorter blocks and sort of smooth it out a bit better. Alrighty, we'll get back to you later, and we'll show you some more. There you go, guys. Kind of just a semi-small update. I know I said a while ago that I had a bit of a lighting problem here at night. It's starting to get darkish now, but on Friday, my partner went to these, in the wee local town here, there's like a wee, what do you call it, transfer station or recycling centre where you dump your rubbish, and you can dump off, like old bits and pieces, and other people might use them. Well, when she was there, there was some fluoro lights there, like a just the base and a couple of diffusers, and there was a box with some heap of bulbs in it. I've only got 4 left in here now, but there was actually enough to do that right there. And I went round and seen my dad, and he had a spare new one because he built a big shed recently, and it's one he hadn't put up, and he had another old one from an older shed that he just had sort of lying around just as a spare. So I grabbed both those bases and bought some starters for them because I didn't have any starters, and threw some of the bulbs in. So I've got basically 6 new lights in here, which cost me about $8 for the starters, for 4 starters. So that's all it's cost me. Everything else I had was just some old cables and some plugs and stuff, so I just wired them up and hung them around. So I got plenty of light in here now, so if I pull the doors down to do any painting or anything like that, I'm going to still have plenty of light. If I'm out in here and it's dark, I've still got plenty of light. So it's quite good. I can sort of do a bit more work at night, even though the days are starting to stretch out now because it's getting into summertime, but it's quite handy. But anyway, I haven't really done a lot from the other day. The only thing I've really done is started sanding this door back now. It's Tuesday again. I did a bit over the weekend, but Sunday I only did a couple of hours out here, and then we went away and see my mum and dad for a few hours, and my brother and his partner had been over in Australia at Bathurst and done a bit of a tour around for a few weeks, so I hadn't seen them for a while either, so we sort of all had a catch up and looked at some photos and some videos and bits and pieces they'd taken off while they were away. So I'll just give you a quick shot again of that bad back door off the driver's side that was crunched in here. With that wheel arch being crunched in, and the whole door was sort of pushed in here. I don't know, heaps. Well, it would have been in an inch, I suppose, through here. It had a big hoop in it. It's really quite low, and it sort of buckled through here. But I've just given this a rough block back. As you can see, like, it's still low, but it's getting real close because you can see the slight scuff marks across here, but it's just a little bit low. So like this door's, I can stand a little bit more up here because I'm not touching steel anywhere yet, but like it's not far away. Like this is only going to just need another very, very light skim in a few spots, and that door won't be far away, and a wee bit of a dress up through here. I'll run the block through here on the edge just to try and keep that line right, but that's not going to take much to tidy up just at the end. So I'll give that a good skim, and then I'll run a good smear of filler along there just so I can shape that nicely and get it nice and clean and tidy before I do prime it. So what I'll do is I might sand the bottoms of these other 2 doors that I've got sort of halfway sorted because I haven't sort of sanded any of them yet either. So I might pause the camera and I'll just give them a sand off and we'll see what they look like. So I'll see you in a minute. Cheers.